concept of, we're going we're going through essentially a 30-day period where the market's dropped in excess of 35 to almost 40%, and we're in the middle of negotiating agreements. How does that get handled? So
Well, I
Kelly,
would
is there any specific question on that one that we're getting, or is that general topic specific enough?
Specific topic, but to make it maybe just a little drill down a little bit there, some people are coming to the end of a divorce proceeding, and maybe there was a pension or a 401k that was supposed to be divided, and now it's lost 40% of its value. Like how do the courts begin to address something like that?
Holly, why don't you jump in here first?
Sure. So as it relates to divorces that are currently being negotiated, I would suggest if there is a case with a financial estate that is significantly impacted by the market volatility right now, that the best answer to that is hit the pause button. Let's take a moment to recalibrate, revisit the financial disclosure statements, make sure that the numbers that we are negotiating with are accurate. And that level of accuracy, if we started here, we're down here, we'd like to see that go up. And, I don't know where that divorce end line comes in, but it's important that we are looking at the real numbers as they exist when we negotiate, not what existed 3 months ago, because we are doing people a disservice by using false numbers, especially if there's, non-invested assets that are also being contemplated, things like real estate, cash accounts, savings, things that haven't had much volatility, that didn't crash anytime soon, where, if somebody's taking all the retirement and the other one's getting the real estate, that's no longer equal. And we have to make sure that we're comparing apples to apples. So I would say number one is hit that pause button and see what happens in the weeks and months to come. And then second is, when we are negotiating these uncertain markets, there are measures that we can put in place to help add some safety for our clients. For example, using language that talks about sharing in any market gains or losses that might be forthcoming. So I won't get into the absolute specifics there, but there's language that we can help our clients be protected, whether on a positive or a negative level, about how the market might affect their investments.
Yeah, Katie, anything to add as it relates to how that might be dealt with differently down in Illinois?
No, I think honestly, Holly did a great job, and the same analysis would apply in Illinois in terms of ensuring that we have the most up-to-date financials exchanged and that we really have a good grasp in terms of how it affects the actual figures we're dealing with. I also mirror her same thought process in terms of staying away from any type of agreement where there's a lump sum payment from a retirement account versus a percentage award. So percentage awards are going to take into account market gains or losses, and these types of, this type of negative effect on the market is going to honestly affect both sides in that type of a scenario. So I would just definitely steer clear of any type of set lump sum figure, because everyone is hurting right now in terms of the financial market and investments. And then I also would just say that, in terms of the what people want to put their eggs in a specific basket, anytime someone's going to be putting all of their eggs in one type of property or one type of asset, like if they're going all for real estate or if they're going all for investments, I think you always have to coach your client and let them know that there is always going to be risk involved with those types of decisions versus equally allocating everything that's within the marital estate. So I would just be sure to tell them that, there's always risk involved with keeping a home versus retirement, and now vice versa, keeping retirement versus a home. And clearly there's a little bit of unpredictability in the market right now. So that's just something we as attorneys need to be talking to our clients about and making sure that they're aware of.
Yeah. Toby, anything to add on this topic as it relates to negotiating these agreements during these volatile times?
Only to add on to what Holly said and what Katie said, these, decisions on assets don't exist in a vacuum. They exist relative to, among other things, debts. To the best of my knowledge, the market did not tank on what people owe, only on what their assets are worth. And so making a decision on asset requires taking a look at debt. I'd take a patient approach.